Have you ever tried to film a video on your own and realised you're basically giving a presentation to yourself while operating a camera and trying to remember what you're about to say? Yeah, that's been me. So I started looking at teleprompters. And they're not complicated. It's a bit of glass, some plastic, but they're like 150 to 200 euro I've seen, even more expensive. And I just couldn't justify it. So naturally, I decided to spend a week of my life designing and 3D printing one myself. And in the process, I may have accidentally built a free teleprompter website as well. That part might have got slightly out of hand. Talking to the camera without notes is tough. You either memorize everything and sound kind of robotic, look slightly off camera and everyone knows, or you end up doing 30 takes of the same sentence. A teleprompter solves all this. For anyone who doesn't know, the glass sits at an angle, the phone displays mirrored text, the text reflects into your eye line, but because of the angle, the camera can't see it. It's simple physics, which is exactly why I thought, sure, how hard can it be, right? Some design goals. Before I even open Fusion, let's set some ground rules. Number 1, I want it mounted directly to the lens. No extra arms, no rails, no second tripod. If it's awkward to attach, I will not use it. Second, it needs to be compact. I didn't want something that makes my camera look like I'm about to shoot a Marvel film. Third, strong enough to hold my phone and a piece of glass without wobbling. Pretty simple. Fourth, modular. If something snaps, I want to be able to reprint the piece and not redesign the whole thing. And yes, I need an app that mirrors text, but that's a problem for a later minter. Everything here is printed on my Bambu Lab P1S using some generic black PETG filament. Nothing exotic, it doesn't need to survive space travel, it just needs to not fall apart mid-sentence. Now, I could have taken out my calipers and measured the lens. That would have been sensible, but I recently bought a RevoPoint Metro Y Pro 3D scanner. And I was kind of looking for any excuse to use it. So instead of just measuring my lens, I scanned my entire camera and lens completely unnecessarily. But sure, look, boys and their toys, ladies, am I right? The advantage though, once I scanned it and aligned it in Fusion, I have an accurate digital reference, which meant I could design the lens mount properly from the start, instead of printing 5 versions that almost fit. So that actually paid off. Version 1 was keeping things basic. The lens mount needed to be solved, the phone base needed to be solved, and the glass holder needed to be solved. I did consider doing foldable supports for the phone base, print and place hinges and all that, but the more I thought about it, the more I realised it would just be creating weak points. And the last thing I wanted is my phone sliding off and hitting the ground. So I parked that idea. V1 never got printed. It was more of a thinking version. Now, version 2, I got a bit excited. I designed the rear support directly into the lens mount, which made sense structurally. But then I decided to add these little bearings from an old gimbal that I had, so the phone base supports could swivel for some reason. Why? I genuinely don't know. I think I kind of blacked out from enthusiasm at that stage. In my head it was clever. In reality it made things bulkier and more complicated, but I printed it anyway. And here's the interesting thing. The core concept actually worked. It mounted securely to the lens. It held the phone really well. It didn't wobble. So even though parts and design choices were questionable, it proved the idea. That's the beauty of iteration. Even when you have something slightly off the rails, you can still learn something useful from it. So for version 3, I stripped it back, removed the unnecessary spinning nonsense with bearings, and focused on compactness, proper phone-based support, and breakdown capability. I added 4 removable legs that would snap into place. I printed it and immediately realised I'd made the holes too big. So instead of snapping, I used glue. Nothing says modular design like permanent regret. It worked structurally, but testing revealed 2 issues. 1, I could see the edge of the phone in the camera frame, and 2, the 45-degree angle of the glass was a bit too low, so I needed to step it up a bit so I could see a bit better. And here we go to version 4. I adjusted it properly. I lowered the phone base, changed the angle of the glass to about 35 degrees, and I improved the leg supports. And this one, it just worked. We've got removable rear lens support, 2 proper leg supports, a phone base with an end stop, a glass holder that's at the right angle, and the lens mount working. Everything can be separated, everything can be reprinted, and more importantly, I'm actually going to use it, which is the real test. I'd love to eventually make the Fusion foil fully parametric, so someone could just enter their lens diameter and everything would adjust automatically, but unfortunately I'm not quite there yet. I'm still learning, but if there is interest, I'm happy to release the files. For the glass, I just took it from an old photo frame that was in the house. If you haven't got any frames lying around, you can get them from any bargain shop. For me, in Ireland, it's Mr. Price. Additionally, I printed some side guards for the glass so I wouldn't slice my hand open. I designed these little clips to hold the towel around the glass because you need to block out the external light so you can see the reflection. It's not glamorous, but it works. When assembled, it was sturdy. No wobble, no reflection, clear, readable text, and most importantly, I didn't feel like I was balancing something delicate off the end of my lens every time I hit record, which means I'll actually use it. Then I went to download a Teleprompter app. And every single one I downloaded paywalled the mirror function or restricted it in some way, which, respectfully, it's just flipping text. I understand everyone out there is trying to make a living, but I wasn't paying a monthly subscription fee for some simply mirrored text. So instead, I spent a day with ChatGPT building a teleprompter site, originally just for myself, running off a Raspberry Pi Model 4B. But once I saw it working, I thought this might actually help other people that are starting out. So I put it online. Teletext.ie. It is free and there's no subscriptions. There are some ads on the homepage, but none on the actual teleprompter. And yes, it was built with AI. If it breaks, I'll try my best to fix it. So, that's my cheap, modular, lens-mounted teleprompter. If you made it to the end of this fairly long video about a bit of plastic and glass, fair play. This channel is new, and it's slightly terrifying putting this stuff out there. But I'm enjoying it. And if you have ideas, improvements, or any fusion tips, please, any fusion tips, let me know. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next 3D Minter project.